Hey guys, it's Awesome Communications, and welcome to my rant on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 reboot of the Ninja Turtles franchise, or what I like to call Teenage Mutant Nasty Taints, because this movie was a nasty taint. It fucking sucked, and I actually, much like my friend did, I actually did have a little bit of hope for this from the start too. Jonathan Liebesman got hired as the director. I like Jonathan Liebesman. I was one of the few people in the world that actually really liked Battle Los Angeles. And I was like, okay, alright. But I was still very cautious about the film. Mainly because Nickelodeon was involved. And Nickelodeon has not been good since the, early 2000s? They've been shitty ever since. Doing nothing but SpongeBob, SquarePants, and a bunch of other shitty teeny bopper shows that aren't so victorious. And so I was like, oh great, okay, alright, so this company's involved now. And I haven't seen the new CGI show, but I'm pretty sure that at the new CGI animated show on Nickelodeon, I would like more than this, because this was a half-ass, lazy piece of shit movie. I mean, this is not the worst film of the year for me. That's still going to be either Expendables 3 or RoboCop. RoboCock. Yeah, RoboCock, the 2014 remake. This didn't piss me off as much as that movie did. Because I love the Ninja Turtles. The Heroes in the Half Shell. You know, this is one of my favorite shirts, actually, is this shirt. I'm a big fan of the Ninja Turtles. I wouldn't probably say I'm as big of a fan as my friend Matt is. I mean, I'd say RoboCop is more of my actual big, huge passion versus the Ninja Turtles, but I still really love the Ninja Turtles. I mean, this isn't the same VHS that I had, but it's the same copy, but it's not the same copy, but it's the same, technically the same VHS of the original film, the 1990 movie. I watched this a lot as a kid. I loved it. I loved this. I loved watching this. My original VHS, I'm kicking myself because I gave it away, but I actually wrote my name on it. That's how much I loved it. And not only the first film I really enjoyed, I also really loved the second movie. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. I watched this VHS all the time. In fact, I watched this the most when I was a kid. I wore this VHS out. I even watched Turtles 3 and I liked it as a kid. And I haven't seen the third film in a while, but I'm pretty sure the third film sucks. But it's better than this, because the third film at least tried. Okay, it tried to do something different. This is just half-assed. This movie is literally, the plot is almost entirely The Amazing Spider-Man. It literally just said, okay, hey, we need to do a new origin for the new generation here with the Turtles. Let's just rip off The Amazing Spider-Man's origin. And then while we're at it, let's also rip off the origin. Let's rip off the origin story. But while we're at it, let's also rip off the entire climax. So yeah, let's have gas that's going to be released on the city with, it's going to have bad consequences, and we need to have the heroes stop it from spreading. I'm like, really? You really had to rip off the Amazing Spider-Man? You were that lazy? 3 fucking writers wrote this shit. It took 3 writers to write this, and all 3 of them fucking failed. They failed on the F scale of fuck, and they should be ashamed of themselves for what they did. I mean, Josh Applebaum and his apple-bottom jeans, Andre Nemec, and Evan Daughtry all fucking failed to do their jobs properly because the screenplay is fucking horrible. It's lazy. It's uninspired. None of the jokes are funny. They made me groan 100% of the time. And there's inconsistencies. There's just a shit ton of missed opportunities here. And great. I wasn't feeling sick the entire day, but now when I talk about this movie, my stomach decides to start punching me in the gut. Starts to be like, boo! Yeah, it's making me want to throw up. That's how bad this movie is. Just talking about it makes me want to puke. Anyway, yeah, this is definitely. I'd probably say, is it as bad as Expendables 3? Yes. Is it as bad as Robocock? It's probably up there. I don't know. I mean, Expendables 3 kind of had hope for. I had no hope for this, so I'd probably put Expendables 3 on top of this in terms of being worse. But I don't know. It's a pretty close battle. It's it's definitely one of the worst films of the year for me. And it's because the screenplay, like, it felt rushed, it felt terrible, it was rewritten. You could tell, because the original screenplay, I guarantee, was the one that Michael Bay was saying, they're not aliens, and Shredder isn't Colonel Shredder, and the Foot aren't a bunch of soldiers. Oh yeah, they are. The Foot are a bunch of soldiers that will get their asses, that look like they get their asses kicked by fucking Chuck Norris and Invasion USA, or any other friggin' generic fucking action movie. I mean, Invasion USA is not a generic action movie, but I'm talking the base. Get their asses kicked by Antonio Sabato Jr. in the base too. And speaking of Antonio Sabato Jr., they look like they're the Wolverine. They look like they dressed up like the Wolverine played by Antonio Sabato Jr. in the movie Wolverine. Yeah, there's another movie called Wolverine, folks, and it does not star Hugh Jackman. It stars Antonio Sabato Jr. And I'm probably the only one that got that reference. But they just look generic as fuck. They take away the martial arts aspect. The Foot are just a bunch of nameless soldier guys with fucking face paint with guns. Great. Just like every other direct-to-video action movie in the 1990s. Wonderful. I'm half expecting Jeff Wincott to show up and kick all their asses. I wish that would happen, actually, because that would be good. That would be a better movie. To have Jeff Wincott or Jeff Speakman show up and just kick their ass. Because they seem so out of place here. Foot soldiers. They're not foot ninjas anymore. They're foot soldiers with fucking guns. Boring. Boring, useless, fucking villains. They might as well be a bunch of fucking stormtroopers getting their asses kicked by fucking Ewoks for all I care. They're that fucking useless. And just like the screenplay and this entire movie is useless. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of fucking time. And it's a piece of shit. And I'm okay if you like the movie. That's cool. I mean, there's a lot of people who really, really like this movie. But I don't. I fucking hated this piece of shit. It was terrible. It was a really hard film to sit through. Even when I was watching with my friend Matt, I didn't have much fun. I didn't have a lot of funny things to say. I tried to be funny, but then I was too loud. And then my mom's like knocking on the wall and be like, "Be quiet, you're being too loud." But I'm like, I'm watching this shit. I want to do something to keep me and myself awake. So I'm trying to start like making fun of it, like singing and shit, and making fun of like the score, which is so overblown and so over the top. Because there's moments in the film in a fight with the Foot starts when Shredder first starts fighting Splinter, and the score is just so over the top. It's ridiculous. It's all I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? You're not Duel of the Fates by John Williams here, okay? It isn't that epic. And I'm like, I'm trying to make fun of it, be like, this score's so over the top. It's trying to be like, this shit is epic. Please listen to it. Please watch it. It's epic. It's the most amazing thing ever. And then I'm like, no, it's fucking not. So it's just, I was trying to, so I wasn't even able to really honestly make fun of it either. I was watching the film because I couldn't fucking scream and yell at the top of my lungs because there's a house guest and my mom's asleep and it's just fucking bullshit and I wanted to do something but I couldn't. I had to keep my mouth shut. So that didn't help the experience much either. It was depressing. It was fucking boring. That's another thing. It was just so goddamn boring. It wasn't fun to watch. None of the jokes made me laugh. They're so outdated. I mean, there's the fucking near the end of the movie, they're talking like the turtles are talking about things like I think they're gonna die. So they're saying things that they off the top of their head or whatever that they wish they would say, their last words, so to speak. And Mikey's saying shit like, I never got to see the ending of Lost. I'm like, a Lost reference in 2014? What? There's even a reference where Mikey's like, we're the Wu-Tang. I'm like, the Wu-Tang Clan? I mean, these references are so fucking old. And people are like, well, that's the point, because they were raised on Gwen Stefani and shit, and that's why they have really old references. There's no excuse for that shit. They could figure it out. But I'm sorry, I'm not excusing shitty screenwriting with shitty jokes. Not doing it. There's no excuses. You have the Ninja Turtles, who are a very popular group of characters. The movie made $477 fucking million worldwide, and that's a fucking shame. And we're gonna get a sequel with these ugly looking fucking turtles who look like they're fucking trolls from Cat's Eye, or maybe the fucking Goombas and steroids from fucking Amazing Spider-Man. So not only stole the Amazing Spider-Man's plot, but it stole the look of the lizard. Goombas and steroids, or some fucking trolls with Cat's Eye, or Stripe from Gremlins without his mohawk. That's exactly what Raph looks like. These turtles aren't lovable. These turtles aren't turtles you want to hang out with and party with. These are turtles that you want to run away screaming away from because you're afraid they're gonna fucking eat your ass. That's not how I should feel about the Ninja Turtles. I shouldn't look at the Ninja Turtles and be like, "Ooh, God, that's not inviting at all." The Ninja Turtles were fun characters in the cartoon. You wanted to party with them. I know the comics were darker, but this film isn't dark. This film isn't gritty. This film is shitty. It's not gritty. But this rant's gonna be all over the place. So I mean, because my brain is all over the place just talking about this movie. It's like my stomach is all over the place. It's just stressful. It's stressful. It's stressful talking about this new Turtles movie. But anyway, I mean, right? I already forgot the fucking movie. I saw it 2 days ago, I think, or 2 or 3 days ago. I forgot the fucking movie already. I saw it on last Thursday. Yeah, I did. I saw it last Thursday, and I forgot the movie already. That's how fucking bad this film is. So, I'm gonna go take a look at Wikipedia because I can't fucking remember what the fuck I saw. So, alright. So, anyway, the film's directed by Jonathan Liebesman, who fucking sucked in this, and he really did a terrible job. And it makes me wonder if it was really his fault, or if Michael Bay just ghost directed it, because it looks like a Michael Bay film. It's got the same look of it. It looks like a Michael Bay film, and mixed in with a little bit of Len Wiseman. Which, with all these fucking stupid, pointless lens flares in this film. What is up with the lens flares? And the shaky cam? And the editing is so goddamn bad and irritating. Editing by two guys, Joel Negron and Glenn Scantleberry. Hey, Glenn Scantleberry, bury your ass alive. You should get buried alive for this bullshit. And never edit again. I'm being over the top. I'm not serious, but seriously though, the editing in this movie is really fucking terrible. There are fight scenes that you can't tell what the fuck is going on because there's so much shitty editing. And then the lens flares are distracting and have no business being there. Plus, with whatever bits of lighting they're trying to use, like yellow lighting or blue lighting or whatever the fuck they were trying to do, pink in one scene, it doesn't fucking work. And the fight scenes are so frenetic and so fast cut that you just don't remember anything about them. And also, it doesn't help that the look of the turtles, they look like the fucking Incredible Hulk, and they're doing martial arts. There's something wrong with that picture. That's why you don't see Incredible Hulk movies where the Hulk is going, "Wee-ah! Whoa!" You don't see that. You don't see the Hulk doing fucking jump kicks because it looks fucking stupid. And that's what you have in this. Turtles who look like Incredible Hulks doing jump kicks and spin kicks and looking like fucking fools versus Shredder, who has like 50 goddamn knives that come out of his fucking ass or everywhere else. I mean, every which way but loose, everywhere. He looks like a fucking Cuisinart. And he also looks like a Transformer, so there's another Michael Bay comparison. He's like 10 feet tall in this robot suit, and he's doing all these martial arts moves. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. People are like, well, it's not supposed to be realistic. I know that, but it gets to the point where it's just too much. It's over the top. I mean, the idea of Ninja Turtles fighting other ninjas is in the Shredder himself, who's pretty, kind of like Darth Vader. But it was done much better in the first film, in the 1990 film. And both, done way better in this movie, the Shredder. He's way more intimidating in this. He's a better character. And you could tell that the filmmakers just threw in the Asian guy who played Shredder. They just threw him in there. You could tell. His performance is terrible. He says one line like, I'm going to dine on turtle soup. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me with that line? I'm going to dine on turtle soup. That's just too fucking... That's just so corny. Even the TV show, the cartoon wouldn't even fucking use that line. I'm trying to find out who played the fucking Shredder. Tohoru Masamune is Shredder. He was just a throw-in guy. It was going to be William Fichtner. And then the fans freaked out. Like, Shredder's going to be a white guy? That's bullshit. And then this, just like the fans understandably freaked out about, they're aliens now? What? But it's the same script that Michael Bay was going to use with the aliens and Colonel Shredder. I guarantee it's the same goddamn script. They just did some shitty rewrites to it and made it so they're not aliens, made it so there was a joke about it, and then made it so Shredder was not played by William Fichtner, and then Shredder was actually Shredder and not Colonel Shredder. It's probably it's the same goddamn script. By Josh Applebaum and his apple-bottom jeans, probably. But Shredder looks fucking terrible in this. He looks like fucking Lord Zed from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV show. Especially if you look at his face. And like I said, he's got so many goddamn knives. It looks like he's got wings and he's gonna fly away into the fucking sun like Icarus. But I'll get more to that later. I mean, the images of the Turtles, I hate the redesign. You gotta get past. No, it looks so fucking off-putting and disgusting looking. When Mikey takes off his mask, he looks like fucking Shrek. Okay, I'm not. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not giving that redesign a pass. It looks like shit, and it was so awful to me. It was distracting. Leonardo wearing fucking samurai outfit, bamboo armor, looking like he stole it from Rufio for fucking Hook. When Leonardo first showed up, I was like, Rufio! It was like, what the hell is this shit? What Raphael has got a fucking do-rag, and he's got a matchstick in his mouth like he thinks he's fucking Cobra. You're not Cobra. So, cut it out. You should take that match and light it and burn your ass to fucking put yourself out of your own fucking misery. Of course, in order to burn yourself, you gotta pour some gasoline or whatever. Or maybe you can light one of Mikey's farts. Because this movie had to have that too. Where Mikey has farts in the turtles' faces in one scene. And then there's a bunch of jokes that don't fucking work. It's the repeated joke that Mikey wants to fuck April. Michelangelo wants to bang April's ass. Michelangelo wants to fuck her. I get it, movie. You don't have to bang it over my head with a fucking hammer 50 goddamn times for me to fucking get it. I get it. I understand that that's what Michelangelo wants to do. He wants to fuck April up the ass. I don't need to hear it a million goddamn times. It wasn't even funny the first time. He's like, my shell is tightening. Oh my God, Mikey's got a boner. Like, I really needed to know that. So Mikey gets a boner and he farts in the turtles' faces. Fucking fantastic! And there's other shit like he's a fucking douchebag in this movie. He was annoying. He was irritating as fuck, and I wanted to strangle his ass on screen. Just the character was just irritating as all hell. I wanted to smack him in the face. Take those puka shells and fucking wrap them around his neck and take all the fucking life out of him. So he would shut the fuck up. That's not how I should feel about Michelangelo. It's not how I felt about Robbie Rist in the live action films. That's not how I felt about the voices in the cartoon. That's not even how I felt about Michelangelo in the Next Mutation live action TV series. This Michelangelo and his puka shells can go to fucking hell with the rest of these fucking turtles. Just like this movie can burn. So, yeah. Like I said, it's going to be all over the place. It's just venting, pretty much. It's a rant, and it's also a venting. Just venting. And Donatello, he's a nerd, so he's got to have glasses, and he's got to have tape around him, because he's a nerd. And there's one scene where he laughs when he's on the mountain or whatever. He's like, that's a snort too, because he's fucking Robert Carradine, Revenge of the Nerds. I need to see that. I know Michelangelo is the kind of funny guy, but he's a douchebag in this. And Donatello is a nerd, technically, but I don't need to see it. I don't need to see that, okay? He doesn't need to look like Poindexter, for fuck's sake. And he doesn't need to have a fucking proton pack on his back. It's just talking about this movie just drained so much energy out of me. Donatello's a fucking nerd with fucking tape around his glasses, which looks fucking ridiculous. And wearing glasses looks ridiculous too. It's a stupid addition to the fucking look of Donatello. And I have to admit, one voice, I didn't mind his voiceover, except for the snorting and laughing. So the guy who played Donatello, I thought, honestly did okay. In terms of voice, Jeremy Howard. The rest of the Turtles, Raphael, he's supposed to be a badass, but he gets his ass kicked by Shredder in what looks like 30 seconds, and it gave me bad flashbacks of the 1990 Captain America film, where Captain America faces off against the Red Skull for the first time and gets his ass kicked in no time, and then gets sent off on a fucking rocket into Antarctica, into the Arctic, by the Red Skull. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to see Raphael, he gets in 2 punches at least, at most, really. He gets 2 punches at most on fucking Shredder, and then Shredder just pwns his ass. All that build-up for Raph going on his own to find his brothers. And really what it is, it's fucking Megan Fox who saves them, not Raph. Fucking April. This isn't a Ninja Turtles movie. The Ninja Turtles are supporting characters in their own goddamn movie. This was the April Chronicles. Or fucking April Origins. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Origins. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Origins April O'Neil. That's pretty much what this fucking movie was. It was all about April. And April fucking sucked in this movie. So did Megan Fox. So cause she should go back to sucking dicks for a living because she sucks as an actress. She's good to look at, but you know what? If I want to see a hot chick, I'll go watch a fucking porno. I don't want to watch a fucking hot chick literally just debase a very honestly well-written, well-regarded character in the Turtles franchise. Megan Fox as April O'Neil is fucking terrible and a disgrace to the character. All that was missing was the fucking hot pants. Seriously. When a cartoon version of April O'Neil has more integrity than the feature film version, there's a fucking problem. But yeah, all of the Turtles I thought were poorly written, didn't have much to fucking do. Michelangelo's a fucking douchebag who was also just selling out, literally. Oh, I got a whole box of Orange Crush. I'm like, ha ha ha, yeah, because Orange Crush was one of your sponsors. Didn't even try very hard to hide the fact that you were advertising Orange Crush in your film. You literally say it. And there's literally a scene where Mikey is drinking an Orange Crush. That amount of fucking product placement is distracting. It reminded me of Man of Steel, where Superman is fighting Zod's men in a fucking IHOP and then goes next to Sears or some shit. It's distracting. All the product placement in this movie. Fucking William Fichtner is wearing an Under Armour shirt for no goddamn reason other than we're sponsored by Under Armour in one scene. So Leonardo, what the fuck did Leonardo do in this movie? He wasn't much of a leader. I don't remember if he really did anything that was anything really leadership material. Johnny Knoxville was not the right choice. Maybe the other guy wasn't the right choice either, but Johnny Knoxville is not the right choice either. I'm sorry, I don't buy Johnny Knoxville as a leader of the Ninja Turtles. I don't buy his voice, it doesn't fit, and it doesn't work. And Leonardo has nothing to do. He has jack shit of nothing to do in this movie. And he's the leader of the Ninja Turtles. April O'Neil does more than Leo does. Leo throws a sword at Shredder at the end, but April O'Neil is the one that kicks it into Shredder. Because April O'Neil is the one that gets the last, hit on Shredder. Because she gets her revenge because Shredder killed her parents. So we have to throw in that cliche. There's so many goddamn cliches in this script. And missed opportunities. Instead of having a scene where they could kick a bunch of ass with a bunch of fucking foot soldiers, they get in a fucking elevator and start freestyling and rapping. Great. It's like we want to see. You all talk about the rap song at the end. It's like shell shocked. Yeah, you know what? I was shell shocked watching this piece of shit. It was that shockingly bad. And it's definitely below mediocre. It's the bare ass minimum. That's all the fucking screenwriters gave you with this film. That's all this film is the bare ass of the Ninja Turtles. That's all you get. The bare ass of the Ninja Turtles in your face, farting and sticking their boners out. And I'm not sucking the dick. I'm not doing it. I'm not sucking the turtle dick. This movie sucked dick, and I'm not going to say anything different. That's how I feel. If you like the movie, be my guest. Fine with that. I don't have an issue with that. Different opinions are what makes this world interesting. But I did not fucking like this movie. So, now that I vented out a little bit, that felt a little bit better. But, I just, it's like the energy is I'm just fading right now. Just talking about this fucking movie. What the plot? The plot, like I said, it's fucking the Amazing Spider-Man Redux. That's what it is, and it's the Chronicles. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Origins. April O'Neil. It's not the Turtles movie. The Turtles have like this really shitty Sin City wannabe looking fucking intro, and then you cut to pretty much April O'Neil. She's jumping on a trampoline. And she's like, talk about, I want to be a respected reporter. Then maybe you should, I don't know. Maybe you should try a little bit harder. Megan Fox is just totally wrong for this fucking role. I mean, what the fuck were they thinking casting Megan Fox in this movie as April O'Neil? Nobody's gonna take her seriously. She's just there to give guys boners. Or Michelangelo boners. That's it. Give guys and Mikey boners. Well, you know what? She doesn't give me a boner because I'm not hot to trot for Megan Fox. And her man thumbs. I'm not hot to trot for it. Because I'm afraid she'd fall asleep on my dick. Or I'd fall asleep while she's sucking my dick because she's that boring of a person. And then she sucks so much as an actress. Afraid she'd suck all the fucking life out of me. But anyway, Megan Fox sucks. The only time I laughed in this movie is when Whoopi Goldberg is calling her out on her bullshit, which is like, they're a bunch of Ninja Turtles and they're the vigilantes who are doing this. And Whoopi Goldberg's like, you expected me to put this on the evening news? Or it's like, and then she comes back with it like, what are you doing? What? What? What are you telling me? Get out of here. Get out. Get out. You're lucky I don't fire you for being so stupid. That's the only time I ever fucking laughed at this movie. So all the other jokes fucking sucked. The movie even stole a joke from the 1990 film where they're throwing pizza up in the air and they cut it up and a slice of pizza falls on Splinter's head. It looked like the exact same scene from the 1990 film. They try to be clever and make references to the fuck of all things, we wish you a turtle Christmas, because Mikey says something where it's like, man, you know, hey, I thought you were my lead man. We're gonna do the Christmas album, the rap Christmas album together. I'm like, you're my MC. I'm like, really? You referenced that fucking piece of shit? So they reference that fucking atrocity, which I don't know which is worse, this or we wish you a turtle Christmas. I'm gonna say they both suck dick. How about that? And so they reference that shit, and like I said, ad nauseum with Mikey saying, wanting the fuck April, she's hot, she's my girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. I'm a teenager, but we're teenagers, but we can have adult conversations. Mikey's a fucking douchebag. He's a douchebag fucking skater bro who want to punch in the face. And I like Michelangelo. That was one of my nicknames as a kid. I dressed up as Michelangelo for Halloween one year. Mikey was a nickname that, you know, because my name is Mike. So my cousin gave me a nickname. She called me Mikey a lot. So I have a soft spot for Michelangelo. Not for this Michelangelo. I could jump off a fucking bridge to nowhere. So anyway, I mean, Megan Fox sucks. And fucking Will Arnett sucks just as much dick as she does. He's not funny. He has nothing funny to say. And he's a fucking useless character. All Vern does in this movie is just drive a fucking van. That's it. You might as well just have a chauffeur. You might as well just be Megan Fox's chauffeur. Driving around town and not say a goddamn word. He's just there to drive her around and get shot. That's it. That's all his fucking character is. William Fichtner is just about as fucking useless too, because all he fucking does is say some shitty, he just talks and talks and talks and talks and says nothing that at all leaves any sort of a semblance of a memory in your head. And he's there to sponsor Under Armour, and he's there to try to shoot Will Arnett. That's it. That's all he's fucking there for. It's Eric Sachs. Because he's a ball sack. Just like this movie is a sweaty ball sack. Whipping you in the face. Back and forth. Again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And Splinter in this, Tony Shalhoub is not the right guy to do the voice of Splinter because he sounds fucking terrible. And also the character is written incredibly, horribly, awfully bad. The three writers of this film, all three of them are tone deaf when it comes to these characters. When it comes to the Ninja Turtles. When it comes to Splinter, especially. Because you know how they portray him? as a fucking child abuser. The moment the Turtles show up after they met up with April, and and Splinter's mad at them, so he automatically takes out his tail and literally starts choking him out and smacking him in the face. Like, what the fuck is this? He's like their father. So what? He's just gonna beat his kids? Lovely. I love that. Great. Great. Splinter is a goddamn child abuser in this movie. Wonderful. And it doesn't stop there, because in order to get some information out of them in one scene, he ends up torturing them. He tortures his kids to get information like he's a fucking U.S. Army guy. Like he's a fucking, like he's one of those U.S. Army guys, intelligent guys, who are waterboarding terrorists to get information. Excuse me. Movie's making my throat itch. But seriously, he's fucking waterboarding. He's not waterboarding them, but he might as well be. He's torturing his kids to get information from them. It was uncomfortable to watch Splinter do this. And so the moment where Shredder kicks his ass, I don't care. Because Splinter is a fucking child abuser and torturing his kids to get information out of them like he's a fucking CIA. So I don't really give a shit about Splinter in this movie. It's like I don't give a shit about April. I don't give a shit about Will Arnett and his fucking Vern, who's a goddamn useless character. I don't give a shit about the Turtles, because they're fucking ugly looking motherfuckers who are written terribly, who don't have any moments of brotherhood, except for the one moment at the end, which just seems half-assed, when they're trying to fight the Shredder. Trying to fight Robo Shredder. Trying to fight the Shredder, and they say to make this line where they're like, you remember that thing we used to say when we were kids? Cowabunga! No, I don't remember that. Because you had a scene earlier in the film where you showed them as kids. You could have put that in there. You put the thing in where they played the bucket game in there, but you couldn't because they played that game as a kid. And it took them this fucking long until the end of the movie to actually learn to fucking fight together. Literally took them to the end of the goddamn movie to decide that, maybe we should work together to fight the Shredder. But yes, in the 1990 film, they didn't work together either. But they were upset. They were furious because of what Shredder had done to their master Splinter, and they were upset, and they didn't think it through, and they all went after Shredder in anger, and Shredder kicked their asses. So yes, in this movie, in the 1990 movie, Splinter defeats the Shredder. He's the one that gets the final blow in, and not the Turtles, just like this movie. But it worked better in the 1990 film, because as ridiculous as you want to say Splinter's origins are in the 1990 film, he was a rat and he learned martial arts by watching his master. That makes a lot more sense than fucking Splinter finding a fucking book in the sewer of martial arts, and that's how he fucking. Oh my god, that's how lazy and shitty this movie is, folks. There's no excuses for this amount of laziness. How did the Turtles learn how to become ninjas? From a book that Splinter found in the fucking sewer. That's fucking bullshit. That's so goddamn lazy. It hurts my brain. It hurts every part of my goddamn body to think about that shit. That's fucking stupid. You know what movie did that better? The Meteor Man. And that actually worked because he hadn't, he had the powers to touch things, books, and then he'd remember everything. So it made sense there. This makes no goddamn sense. And also, how the fuck did a book of martial arts get in the fucking sewer in the first place? There's more questions with this Splinter origin story on how the Turtles, learned martial arts versus how Splinter learned from his master in the 1990 film. And Splinter had a grudge. There was actually a grudge that was set up between Splinter and Shredder in the 1990 movie. Here, there's nothing. There's like one moment where they meet, and it was like, oh, Splinter. I'm like, what? There's no backstory with these characters. It's not, at least if there is, it's not on the screen. And then when Splinter was fighting Shredder, it looked like fucking Yoda. And Star Wars Episode 2 and 3 was it looked ridiculous. Just like every fight scene this movie did, because Splinter looks fucking huge too. He's bigger than normal, and the Turtles look like fucking Incredible Hulks doing martial arts, which is fucking silly to watch. The Shredder is some big giant fucking robot who's moving like he's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I'm sorry, I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on that in this entire movie. Megan Fox is fucking airhead who is not a believable reporter, and it's the little girl actress who played the little girl version of her has more charisma and personality than she does. She's a better actress too, and she's what, 8 or younger than that, or 10 or 12. And going back to some missed opportunities, the Turtles, while they're getting captured by Eric Sachs, who needs their blood, which I guess he didn't decide Splinter could use Splinter's blood, but whatever, this movie is stupid. So the screenplay is stupid. It's a stupid screenplay. When they learn martial arts because Splinter found a book in the fucking sewer, it's a stupid fucking movie. So they end up fuck. So you have the whole thing, the missed opportunity. The Turtles get captured. Raph goes on his own to find them and does jack shit except get his ass kicked. And then when Megan Fox is the one that lets them out. And you want to know how they get out? Well, because there's a button. Donatello says adrenaline. And there's literally a button on the computer screen, touchscreen, that says adrenaline. And Megan Fox just pushes it a bunch of times. And they get all hopped up and break out of their cells. And this is after Shredder left because he pwned Raph's ass. And then the Turtles, instead of having a scene where, instead of having the Shredder hightail out of there after he kicks Raph's ass one-on-one, because Raph is a bitch in this movie, let's have it so the Turtles are all hopped up on adrenaline and get extra energy, and they all fend off the Shredder and kick his ass and make him hightail it back. No! Instead, we're going to have Raph get his ass kicked and have the majority of the film have the Turtles get their asses kicked, or watch Splinter get his ass kicked by Shredder, and that entire scene where Shredder is kicking Splinter's ass when the Turtles get stuck, and the whatever, like a fucking gate comes down, and they're locked in, and they're like looking and watching while Shredder is kicking their master's ass. I'd seen that before, and you want to know where I saw that? In this fucking movie! I saw that exact same scene in this fucking movie where Robert Patrick Kogoshuko is kicking Satori's ass in front of Billy and Jimmy. And they're locked out with the, holding a chain link fence while they're watching they're fenced out watching their master get her ass kicked. If I am reminded of that fucking movie, your screenplay is fucking dog shit. And cliched. Because that movie is cliched. And lazy. And uninspired. Just like this movie is. And any moment where it tries to have heart, like the one speech at the end while they're falling, which looks like a fucking Six Flags ride where they're... It looks like the Six Flags ride where you get in and you're strapped in and it's doing the spinning thing. Or Ride of the Carnival, where the thing spins and then you go up and down. And they share the last moments. I never got to see the ending of Lost, which is stupid. Donnie so I'm the one who licked the frosting off the Pop-Tarts. And Raph's the one that says, I'm sorry, was it, the good guy to you guys, it was, my brothers, I love you. And instead of, that's the one moment that heart, but it just came out of nowhere because the script sucks. And then they land safely at the end, and then literally, after he finishes that speech, you hear a record skip, so that means that the movie just said that entire exchange was a joke. That moment of heart, where Raph is saying he loves his brothers, is just a fucking joke. Just like this fucking movie is a fucking joke. And it's a bad joke. That isn't funny. In the slightest. But anyway, so yeah, the one moment that's a shitty screenplay. The moment you have heart, you fuck it up. Supposed to feel for Splinter and get his ass kicked. I'm reminded of fucking Double Dragon. Raph goes to 1-on-1 against Shredder and gets his ass kicked like Matt Salinger did in the Captain America movie. Just that easily, and got his ass kicked just like that. Turtles don't have any moments that are at all memorable in terms of fight scenes. What was it? I think it was Kevin Eastman. Was it Kevin Eastman or was it Peter Laird? One of them said, "It's gonna fight scenes like the Raid. The Raid, my ass." This is the second time I've heard fucking, Sly said, "I'm gonna fight scenes like the Raid. They expect him to see, they expect him 3's gonna top the Raid." Didn't top the Raid at all. And this movie is nothing like the Raid. The fight scenes are nothing like the fucking Raid. If it was like the Raid, you, instead of going in the elevator and beatboxing, the Turtles would have kicked the Foot's ass. It's not what happened. Instead, they sucked ass. And continued to suck ass like this entire goddamn movie. Teenage Mutant Nasty Taints. In your face. Anyway, I really don't know what else to say about this except this movie was one of the most poorly written, lazy, half-assed, uninspired films I've seen lately. And you take a popular series of characters and you just do such a fucking half-assed job and you still make millions. And if you like this movie, fine. But I don't understand why. That's the thing. I don't understand why. If you're a fan of the Ninja Turtles, I don't understand why you like this movie. Because the characters are written piss poorly, or are also just totally written against character like Splinter. Splinter is not going to literally abuse his kids. He's not going to grab the Turtles and he's going to grab them and choke them out with his fucking tail. He's not going to torture them for information. He's going to punish them, but he doesn't do that kind of shit. That's going to the extreme. Michelangelo is not that big of a fucking douchebag as he is in this movie. Raph is a badass, but he's not in this. He's a fucking pussy who gets his ass kicked like Captain America. Speaking of Captain America, The Winter Soldier is a way better movie than this and had way better fight scenes. And is there something wrong with having a problem with a movie that has ninja in the goddamn title that barely has any fucking martial arts in it? And if there is, it does not register? You don't remember it? Because a lot of it's just fucking running and punching and throwing people and throwing fucking containers and shit. Like the whole first 15 minutes of the movie are boring ass fucking backstory I don't give a shit about. Megan Fox. And, the Turtles throw a fucking Raph or somebody throws a fucking container. Woo! Movie takes forever to get going, and when it does, it doesn't fucking make up for it. Oh, the scene where they fell down the fucking mountain. If I want to see that, if I want to see a scene where people fall down a mountain, I'll watch Willow or Temple of Doom. Not this shit. Bad CGI going down the fucking mountain, and it's overlong to me. It's not thrilling. I got more thrills out of the scene in G.I. Joe Retaliation where Snake Eyes kicks a bunch of people's asses on a mountain. That was better than this scene. And Mikey stealing the fucking hoverboard for fucking Biff for Back to the Future Part 2. He literally is flying around in a hoverboard that looks, with rockets, that looks like the fucking hoverboard that Biff had in Back to the Future Part 2. I'd rather watch that. That's a lot better than this shit. All 3 Back to the Future movies are better than this goddamn movie. I wish I could get into the DeLorean, okay, and go back in time and prevent Nickelodeon from getting the rights to this fucking movie, and make it so force them to make it live action like they're originally planning on doing, instead of this CGI monstrosity which these turtles look like. Steroid-ridden Incredible Hulks who look like ass. Fucking Goombas. Trolls. Hairless Stripes from Gremlins. And I would have made them normal size like they would. Keep the fucking normal design. Don't steal the redesign from Next Mutation of all goddamn things. And then inject them with fucking steroids and call it a fucking day. I keep the original design, which, why is that a problem? Turtles have looked the same for decades. There's no reason to change it. Same shit with Robocock. Let's redesign the look, and it looks like shit. It's like in here. They redesigned the Turtles and they look like shit. And the movies are shit. Not surprised. Would have forced them to use the practical effects again, like they're originally planning on doing. Get a little bit of a lower budget. Don't do an origin story, because we already know about the Turtles. Do a sequel to the 3rd movie or a sequel to the CGI movie, but make it so it's actually, you know, it's a live action, a little bit of lower budget, grittier, just like the 1990 film was. And I'd hire a director, maybe get Gareth Evans to actually do a Ninja Turtles movie. So there really would be fight scenes like The Raid, with actual stuntmen and martial artists in suits, kicking ass. Instead of these Incredible Hulk, steroid-looking, dumbass-looking motherfuckers who look fucking ridiculous anytime they try to do any sort of martial arts. Because they look like the fucking Michelin Man, especially Leonardo. There's shots where he looks like the fucking Michelin Man. So I wish I could have a DeLorean, go back in time 88 miles per hour, and stop this movie from getting made. And make a better film. A better Ninja Turtles movie. A better Turtles movie that the fans deserve. And the fans of the Turtles can like this. That's fine with me. But I don't understand why. That's the thing. I don't understand why. Splinter is written absolutely against his character in this film. Shredder is a fucking generic ass villain, wannabe Darth Vader, fucking fails to intimidate. He's a completely unintimidating character, and with all these goddamn knives that come out of his fucking ass, it looks ridiculous. And William Fichtner is nothing. Didn't even need to be in the goddamn movie, just like Vern. April O'Neil is literally ruined by Megan Fox playing her, because she can't fucking do it. And she doesn't have much to do either. Not much to say, and not much to do for a character, except walk around in tight fucking jeans and her yellow jumpsuit. Well, they wish it was a yellow jumpsuit, but it's a yellow jacket. She's just eye candy. And the Turtles, they have little to no character development. Anything that they did have, the fucking movie did a record skip and basically insinuated that it was all a joke. See, I don't get it. I don't understand why fans of Ninja Turtles adore and love this movie. I don't get it. I really don't understand why. Because I'm mentioning all these things that literally is against the characters, poorly written, no character development. They look awful. They don't have much to do. They don't do anything memorable. Their lines of dialogue pretty much all suck. None of them are funny. Raph is not a badass. What, he throws a fucking, hits a Jeep with a shell? They're bulletproof, which is another fucking stupid thing. There's lines of dialogue that I swear sounded like they copied and pasted the script from Dude, Where's My Car? I like that movie, but that movie's a comedy, and it's dumb on purpose. And if this movie was dumb on purpose, it didn't work because I didn't laugh. I was too busy being bored or pissed off. I just expected better for a new Ninja Turtles movie. I expected and wanted a lot better movie than this. Sue me. I wanted a better Ninja Turtles movie. Waited how long for a new Ninja Turtles movie after the disappointing lackluster CGI film and the crappy Turtles 3 and the shitty Next Mutation TV series? I wanted a little bit more. Especially for a new Ninja Turtles movie. I wanted better than the bare ass that I got. But anyway, I really don't want to know what else to say. It's a long rant, but it was going to be. Except, movie fucking sucks. Makes me want to kick turtles in the face. It actually makes me not like the Ninja Turtles. Which these are characters I adored and loved as a kid. So much that one of my imaginary friends as a kid was Raphael. And I hated the turtles in this movie. I hated the way they looked. I hated their, they didn't have anything to do. And a lot of them just, voice acting was pretty miserable for the most part. Except for the guy who did Donatello, I thought did okay. The rest of them I thought sucked or they didn't have much to do. Because this is nothing. There was nothing for them to do. Except be Incredible Hulks and do martial arts moves that look fucking ridiculous. Shredder was not intimidating, saying stupid lines of dialogue like, I will dine, tonight I will dine on turtle soup. William Fichtner was useless. Megan Fox was useless. Fucking Will Arnett was fucking useless. This entire movie was useless. At least to me. There's no rewatchability factor. Mikey farting in your face and Mikey getting a boner. Boner jokes, fart jokes. Donatello snorting and laughing and having tape on his glasses because he's a fucking nerd. This movie wasn't subtle. It was just in your face stupid and in your face lame and in your face bad. Teenage Mutant Nasty Taints. Because there is no goddamn ninjas in this fucking movie. The movie that is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway, I really don't know what else to say except I'm gonna rate it. Fuck that. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. So if I talk about anyone, fuck that. Fuck this movie. That's what it is. It's fuck this movie. That's my rating. It can go fuck itself to the fucking sewer and die. So anyway, thank you for watching my rant on Teenage Mutant Nasty Taints. And I will see you guys later. See ya.